If you're a business owner and you have up to 10 persons you are paying salary every month, then this video is for you. If you're also an accountant and you work in an organization where the company you work for pays salary to up to 10 employees, then this video is for you. In this video, I want to show you how to prepare payroll for a 10-man team, how to calculate their net pay, how to apply the new tax law to their salary, and how to determine the amount of payee tax that they will pay on a monthly basis or on a yearly basis. In case you don't know, as a business owner, the government or the tax law expects you to minus a certain amount from the salary you pay to your team or to your staff every month and remit it back to the government. Now, you don't just minus any figure you feel like. There is a step-by-step way of determining how much that amount is and from whose salary it will be taken out from, because it is not every of your staff or every of your employee that are eligible or that are supposed to pay this. There is a way to determine who is supposed to pay and who is not supposed to pay, and those things are the things we are going to see as we use a very brilliant and automated Excel template, which I have designed for you to make it easy to determine all these things. So this template, you are not going to bother yourself about calculation. If you are not a mathematics person, you're not going to bother yourself about what the tax law says. If you have not read the tax law, everything you need to worry yourself about as a business owner or an accountant, I have done the hard work for you. All you need to do is to get this template, impute the name of your employee or the name of your staff, impute how much you pay them in an entire year, and this template will automatically run the calculation for you at once. You don't need to bother, you don't need to sweat yourself. And that is exactly what I'm going to show you in this video. So without wasting much of your time, let's dive into the payroll template which I have designed for you, because this video is not a theoretical session, it is a practical session. So let's see how it works and let's get to understand how to prepare payroll for a 10-man team in less than 10 minutes. Let's dive in. All right, so now we are in our Microsoft Excel and I'm about to show you how to do your payroll calculation, your net pay calculation, and your payee calculation using this awesome payroll template which I have designed. Now, in case you have not watched our video on how to calculate payroll, net pay, and payee tax step by step, I advise you to consider watching that video. That will help you to understand how we come about all these annual gross, basic, housing, transport, others, annual gross pay, annual employee pension, and other things that you can see in this payroll. Okay, that will help you understand what all these things stands for. Okay, but in this video we will not be going ahead to explain this one after the other, but we'll still touch them as we run our payroll calculation in this video. So if you want to just get a detailed breakdown and explanation on how on what all these things are, then you should consider watching the video where I taught about payroll computation step by step. Okay, I took my time to explain all these, how they work, how we apply the percentage, how we apply the tax computation table, how we apply the payee tax table, and also how we apply the tax deduction table, and also then how we compute the annual salary of each employee. So, but once you have this template is automated in nature, which means that you don't even really need to bother about all these things that I have mentioned. But for educational purposes, if you really want to know what they are, then you should consider the video I'm talking about. Just check the list of the videos that I have posted and you will see where we talked about computation of payroll, net pay, and payee tax step by step. Okay, so you see it, you find it, you watch it. Okay, so now once you have gotten this template, in case you do not have this template, I have dropped a link in the description which you can use to get this template. Now this payroll template is for 10 10 employees. That means its capacity is to power 10 employees. All right. So, and when we look at the number here, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 10. So it means that it can power or calculate the payroll and pay tasks of 10 employees all at once. And in this video, I'm just going to go from scratch to show you how it is done. But before we do that, I would like to take off the informations that are already in this template, and just watch closely. The informations or the area that I take off, the informations that I take off here are the ones that you can actually take off, okay? Because this template is embedded with formulas, and if you are not so conversant with Microsoft Excel formulas, or you're not so good with it, then you should not tamper with areas that I did not edit in this video. So there are few areas you are allowed to edit here, especially if you are not knowledgeable with Microsoft Excel. Okay, now those areas include the staff ID area, which is this, the employee name area, and then the annual gross pay area. These are the three areas that you just need to input your employee information, and then the template will automatically calculate the rest of it. Okay, so before we wipe out this information and do the calculation, I also want to let you know that this payroll template is divided into 3. When you look at the bottom here, you can see the annual payroll, which is the current page where we are. You can also see the monthly payroll, which is this, and then you can also see pension schedule, which is the third one. All right, and each of them, once you input your employee information in these 3 places that I have mentioned that you can edit, the staff ID, the employee full name, and the annual gross pay, once you input it, every other place, including the monthly payroll and the pension scheme segment, takes care of itself and compute itself or calculate itself automatically. To also understand how we came about building this, or a more detailed explanation, because I'm going to explain it here, but I won't be into detail. So my job here is to show you how to simply prepare and calculate the payroll of your employee, or up to 10 employee, in less than 10 minutes using this automated payroll template. And for us to do that, I said we will start by going to the annual payroll segment, which is here. And the next thing we are going to do is to take off this information. I'm going to take off this information, this staff name that are already here, because this is just a dummy name that I used. So I'm going to just take off all these names. Okay, I'm going to take off all these names so that we have a blank space there. So remember that these places I'm taking things off are the places you can easily edit. Other areas are not easily edited because formulas have been embedded in them, and once you tamper with those formulas, this template is going to scatter. And if you do not know how to use Microsoft Excel formulas very well, you may not be able to correct it, or you may not be able to repair it, and that means the calculation will not tally and it will give you results that are not accurate. So just watch closely and see the areas that I'm tampering with, and also resist or desist from tampering with others that I did not touch. Okay, unless you truly understand Excel formulas and how to build templates with Microsoft Excel. Okay, so as you can see, as I'm taking down the information or taking off the information, you see that most of the places are turning blank. Okay, and they have a dash in it, and that dash simply represents 0, or that a formula is embedded in those areas. Okay, so we'll go ahead to take off all this information, because these are not our staff information for this payroll computation. So you can see that the template is blank, it's now blank. And also we can go ahead and also take off this staff ID. Okay, because many organizations have a pattern for their own staff ID, and you can also paste or put in or type in that your staff ID into this area. So I'm taking down all those information so that we can start from the scratch to use this template to compute for 10 employees. So as you can see, the template is blank except for few information that are left to be there. Okay, so when you also go to the monthly payroll, you see that because I took out information that were in the annual payroll section, the monthly payroll section also turns into blank, and that also happened for the monthly pension schedule area. So you see that it turns into blank. So a formula has been embedded to this to make it automatic, so that once you input your staff information, it calculates on its own. So now that we have taken that off, I have prepared a list of my employees. Okay, so I will just go to where I have the list of my staff. So this is my payroll employee list. Okay, so these are the names of my staff, the staff ID, their staff ID, the name of the staff, and how much I pay them in a yearly basis. So I am just going to take this information into our payroll calculator or our payroll template, and it will automatically calculate everything I need to do for their payroll in less than 5 minutes. Now, you can choose to input this information into our payroll calculator one after the other, but in this situation, I'm just going to copy and paste, considering the fact that I have already prepared the information in another Excel sheet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm simply going to copy the information of my 10 employees. Okay, so I'm copying their ID, their full name, and then their salary. So I'll simply press Ctrl C to copy. And then I will go into my calculator, click on the first box under staff ID, and simply press Ctrl V. Okay, to paste the information, and this will paste in my employees information. And immediately I paste in the employee information, you can see that the payroll have automatically calculated itself, and you can see that most of my employees are not eligible to pay tax. Okay, I'll come back to that, but you can see from here that these have automatically calculated what the payroll of my employees. Okay, it have calculated the payroll of my employees. So from here you can see the staff ID. You can see their staff ID. So EMP 001, EMP 002, EMP 003, EMP 004, EMP 005, EMP 006, 007, 008, 009, and 010, that is number 10. So you can also see the names of my employees: Adewale Johnson. You can also see Blessing Okafor, Samuel Adebayo, Fatima Musa, Chinedu Moye, Aisha Bello, Ibrahim Lawal, Messi Eze, Oluwasun Ajayi, and Sadiq Ahmed. So you can see the names of my employee, and you can also see what I pay them in a year, that is their annual gross pay. Okay, so this their annual gross pay, you can also see that it was divided into what? Basic, housing, and transport, which is the standard when it comes to computation of payroll. For those of you who have done payroll before, you should know by now that the payroll or the amount of salary or gross pay is always broken down into basic, housing, transport, then before you start getting other things. All right, so you can see the basic, housing, transport, you can see others, and then when you sum everything up, it will still give you back the annual gross pay. So this is the annual gross pay. Now when you go to this segment and to this tax deduction table, so of course, after they earn this amount, there are things that can be deducted. Okay, there are reliefs that can be deducted. So you can also see their pension has been calculated by the template automatically. I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to start remembering what the law says about pension. I didn't have to start remembering the percentage of pension and the rest of it. So you see that the template has taken care of it, because this template has been built to be in compliance with the new Nigerian tax law. So this template is obeying the new Nigerian tax law and everything the tax law have said as a regards payroll. So you can see that it have computed everything, their national health fund, rent relief, it have computed it and arrived at their total deduction, taxable income. And then when you look at this place, you can now see that most of my employees, even though some of them earn up to 1 million Some of them earn up to 1 million, 2 million here, 1.2 million, 1.5 million, 1.8 million. You see that most of them are not even eligible to pay tax. It's just only 2 people that are eligible to pay tax. Okay, so in your organization, you don't just go and deduct payee blindly and say, the government has said that all my staff will pay payee tax. No, you have to do the calculation to know those who are eligible to pay tax. Because if you go ahead and deduct tax from somebody who is not eligible, that is criminal. So as you can see here, you can see that most of my employees are not even eligible to pay tax. Only 2 persons are eligible to pay tax. And those are the 2 persons that have a figure showing under the first 800 column. So look at the total taxable income of this person. So it's 602,800. Now this 602,800 is not bigger than 800, right? 602,800 is not bigger than 800. And the government says, once you calculate, remove everything we say you should remove as reliefs and allowances or exempts. After you must have removed all those things, also minus the first 800K. Okay, minus 800 from your taxable income to arrive at your chargeable income. So you see that this person is earning below 800K. Okay, after calculating, it's not actually earning below 800K, but after calculating everything and minusing everything that needs to be minus from his annual salary, now what is left to be taxed is not more than 800, is below 800, so automatically it's not qualified to pay tax. So don't just say because government has said as a company or organization you should minus payee tax from your staff salary and remit to the government, then you go and deduct or minus blindly from your staff salary. You have to run the computation. That is why you need this template. If you have not gotten this template, I have provided a link in the comment section where you can click and download the one that is appropriate for your organization and also meet your staff capacity. There is a template for those who have 5 employees. There is a template for those who have 10 employees. And there is a template for those who have 15, 25, 30 to 50 and even 100 employees. So just click on the link below, go to that website and download the one that suits your organization and your staff strength. Okay, so now looking at the second person, you can also see that this person is earning less than the taxable income after all deduction is less than 800, and because it's less than 800, the person is also not qualified, okay, to pay tax. And then when you look at this person, which is the number 3rd person, that is Samuel Adebayo, you see that Samuel Adebayo, after all the deduction, his taxable income, what is left is 878,500. Now, when you minus 800 from it, it will be 78,500 will be left. Now, this is 78,500 is taxable. The government can now take tax on this 78,500. And when the government apply, when you apply 15%, okay, on that 78,500, 11,775 naira is what Adebayo will pay as tax in a whole year. And when you now break down, talking about the payee table now, when you now break down that 11,775 naira divided by 12, it will now give you 981 naira, which is now the monthly payee tax. So this is what Adebayo will be paying on a monthly basis. And when you calculate all this in 12 months, it will give you 11,775 naira. So you see that this is way lesser and moderate compared to what he is actually earning. Now, and if you keep on going down, you also see that many others are also not going to pay tax until it gets to this next person. Let's see who is that. Okay, until it gets to Oluwaseun Ajayi. Okay, and Oluwaseun Ajayi, when you minus 800,000 from 823,360, you have what? 23,360. And when you apply 15% on it, this is the tax that Oluwaseun is going to pay in a whole year, 3,504 naira. And when you break down 3,504 naira into by 12, you are going to get 292 naira, and that is what he is going to pay as tax. So only 2 of my employees are qualified to pay payee tax after the computation. So this is why you must also get this table, so that you don't go and charge or deduct or minus payee tax blindly from your employee salary. Now, so this is annual. We have computed the annual payroll. Okay, we have computed it, and you saw how easy it was. It would have taken a whole lot of time, assuming we have to start doing the calculation one after the other for this 10%. It would have taken a whole lot of time. But with this template, you can do this as fast as possible. Just organize your employee list, gather their staff ID if you have one. If you don't have one, just add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 as their ID, and also gather their names, organize their name, and then organize the total amount that they earn in a year. If you don't know the total amount that they earn in a year, bring the amount that they earn in a month. So if somebody earns 30,000 naira in a month, it's simply 30,000 naira multiplied by 12, and that will now give you what their annual gross pay is going to be. Okay, so that is if the 30,000 naira is not their net pay. Okay, so multiply it and put it here. So once you have that organized, you can just simply copy and paste in these first 3 columns, which is staff ID, full name, and annual gross. Anything you do outside of these 3 will end up scattering the formulas that makes this template to run smoothly. So remember that the editable areas here remains the staff ID, the full name, and the annual gross pay. So now that is it with the annual payroll. Now, when you click here, you see that the template have also automatically did the computation in this area. Okay, it have also did the computation in this area, and you can also see that the monthly payee or the monthly payroll of this staff have also been done. Okay, it has also been done in this place. Okay, so you can see the staff names are also here. The staff names are also here, and then you can also see that it have broken their salary into basic, housing, transport. Okay, and you can see others. Then you can see their monthly gross pay. So this is what they earn in a month. So the payroll or the template here also calculates what they earn in a month. So this is their annual. This is what they earn in a year. And when you come to this monthly payroll under here, you can also see what they earn in a month. So this is what they earn in a month. The first person earned 100,000 in a month as monthly gross. The second person 80,000, the third person 125, and the fourth person 70, and you keep on going down to see what they earn. And when you now factor in their monthly pension contribution, their monthly national health fund contribution, and every other thing, you will arrive at their total deduction. And then you also see the payee. Look at the payee that they will pay on a monthly basis. So this is the payee that they will pay on a monthly basis. It's already computed here. Okay, it's already computed here. So the payee will come here on a monthly basis, and then you also have the total deduction and their monthly net pay. So remember that gross pay and net pay is not the same thing. Okay, so this is the final take home. This is the one you call take home pay. That is the actual money that they will go home with. So if you have ever done payroll computation, you will really understand the difference between gross pay and the monthly gross pay and the monthly net pay. So the monthly net pay is the actual money that they go home with. Okay, so and that is it. So when you also click on the pension segment, you also see that the pension have also calculated itself. You can see their name have already populated. We didn't have to even enter the names here. It's automatically populated on its own. Okay? So this section of the template, that is the pension schedule, also have editable areas like the PIN number. You can add their pension PIN number into this column. It is editable. You can add those PIN numbers here. You can also add the name of their pension fund administrator, that is PFA. You can add the name of their pension fund administrator into this place, and you can also add the name of their pension fund custodian, that is PFC. You can also add that information into this area. Okay, so these areas are editable. These 3 tables here, they are not what? Editable. Okay, they are not editable because of the formula. And you can see that in a few minutes we have been able to prepare payroll and compute both the gross pay, annual pay, monthly pay, and the net pay of our employees, and even computed what their payee tax, how much tax they should pay in a year and how much tax they should pay in a month. So by this way, you already know the 2 persons to focus on, and these 2 persons are the ones you ensure that you also compute their what tax accurately. So that is it with computing payroll for 10 employees, computing net pay, and also payee tax for 10 employees. So if you have a team of 10 persons working in your organization or in your business, this template is specifically for you. And if your team is also above 10 or maybe below 10, we have also got a template for you. All you have to do is to click on the link in the description, follow that link, and then download the exact template for your business or for your staff capacity. All right. I hope you learned a lot in this video. Thank you so much. In case you have any question about payroll computation and any other thing, you can reach out to me with the email attached to this YouTube channel, and I'll be glad to assist you on anything you want. Thank you so much. And before you go, remember to subscribe, like, and share this video with your community. I'll see you next time. Bye.